Welcome to IHIP News. Pumps, what you got?
Marjorie Taylor Greene is an embarrassment to herself, Georgia, the United States of America, and Congress. This is her yesterday. It's disgusting.
I'd like to ask you another question. Since you're very interested in being DNC chair, you are, after all, a lifelong Democrat politician. I don't even know if you had a job in the real world, but you have been an elected politician for years. Mr. O'Malley, you're also a Catholic, are you not? You're also a Catholic, are you not?
I am.
Do you serve God or do you serve the Democrat Party?
I serve God. And
okay, then Mr. O'Malley.
Mr. Chairman, as a Roman Catholic, I take offense at the suggestion that somebody has to choose between God and their service to country as a Catholic.
Mr. O'Malley, will you be supporting the murder of the unborn up until the day of birth like your party does? As DNC chair, will you be supporting the murder of innocent unborn people? Is that in line with your faith in God and the Catholic Church?
I trust the judgment of women and doctors over the judgment of government.
No, do you trust God's judgment? Do you trust God that he loves and has created every single human being? Do you support the murder of unborn children? And are you going to uphold that evil practice that the Democrat Party wants to continue? You see, abortions, over 95% of them are unintended pregnancies. They use abortions as birth control.
Okay, I'm going to stop her right there. Number one, this notion that abortion is murder is a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
This notion that women use abortion as birth control is a conspiracy theory. Furthermore, this type of mixture of church and state has got to be banned from the public discourse. We need to have a completely secular government that relies upon facts. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace. She's stupid.
Yes.
Completely stupid, engages in magical thinking, and she doesn't give a shit about all these children that she claims that God loves, these beautiful children. She could give two shits that the number one cause of death of children in the United States of America is gun violence. In fact, she champions for more guns and easier access to guns. So she's a complete hypocrite. I cannot stand her. I think about this all the time. If I met somebody from, let's just say, some random country, let's just call it fucked up Istan. And they said, yeah, I want to show you this video. I mean, our politicians are insane. And they showed me this video. I'd be like, God, that's bananas. And they said, look at this. Look at what their former president did on January 6th. And they showed me some video footage of him. I'd be like, God, that's a nut. I'm sure glad that I don't live in that country. It's our country.
Yeah.
It's our country. We have a convicted felon, and these are his supporters. She is an exact microcosm of every single Trump supporter. Not intellectual, engages solely in black and white thinking, engages in magical thinking, and is just a conspiracy theory, whacked out nut job. That is Trumpism.
Here's my thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is dumb as fuck. And she should be nowhere near a position of power. Yet she is in the United States House of Representatives. I think that she is so dangerous. All of the hypocritical things that she says, she sits there. Do you believe that everyone is a child of God? All that horse shit. Where are you when children are starving to death? Where are you when they're shot in schools? She doesn't give a fuck. She's the one that was banging her some kind of workout instructor while she was married. Yet she's Miss Hoorah Jesus. I can't stand her. She is like you said, a microcosm of the downfall of this entire country, because people sit there and watch her and they're like, oh, well, she's in a position of power. Maybe she's onto something. And just referring to abortion as murder, it makes me so mad, because women are dying every single day because of abortion ban and lack of abortion care. And she didn't give a shit about them. She only gives a shit about the news headlines, which she's disgusting. It makes me mad.
This is MAGA Jesus, though. MAGA Jesus is, we value profits over human beings, and we use stupid, antiquated conspiracy theories to further manipulate our very religious base. And so a lot of people hear this and they're like, Oh, yeah. She's really socking it to him. And at the end of the day, the largest indictment is on the American public.
I agree.
For not being able to critically think, and for seeing somebody like her and thinking, yeah, that's what we should be doing. We should be really questioning somebody's Catholicism. Who gives a shit? We need to get religion entirely out of politics. I cannot stand it. I think it is so stupid. I think it's antiquated thinking. It's anti-intellectual. It drives me fucking crazy. And living in the Bible Belt will probably fucking be the death of me because I cannot take it.
Right, because people here think it's great. They're all in on it. The hypocrisy that these people stand up there and say, rah, rah, God, and the way they behave and the way they talk and their criminal behavior and their misogyny and racism, it's gross. I digress. The grossest of all these gross people is, of course, Donald Trump, who went on a rant about his former employees, appointees, and obviously it's a laundry list. He calls them all the names, dumb as a rock, John Bolton, Mike Pence, all the things. But the one I wanted to focus on is bird brain Nikki Haley, who has compromised herself in my mind. She has embarrassed herself. She had a strong platform when she was running in the Republican primary. And she made good points about Donald Trump and his lack of knowledge and leadership. And then she fucking bent the knee.
I'm sorry, I've got to stop you there. I cannot give her any space whatsoever that she had a strong platform. She is an opportunist to her core and needs to be called out as such. She was the UN ambassador. She was all chips in on MAGA when she knew that when he came down the escalator and spoke about immigrants as rapists, when she was a part of his administration that engaged in illegal actions that caused for him to be impeached. And then after January 6th, when she thought it was popular, she became anti-Trump. So I can't say that she has a strong platform. I can say that she had an opportunist platform. And that's the kind of shit, I don't like that the president of the United States sits around and calls people this. I think it's wildly immature and stupid, but this is what he's done forever.
Right.
But she has a bird brain. Okay, fuck Nikki Haley. That's where I can't get on board with these Republicans that cherry pick when they have morals and when they have clarity, because it shows me they have no conviction, no spine, no backbone. She was in the epicenter of the Trump administration, came out, found Jesus on Trump, talked about how dangerous he was, then endorsed him.
Right.
So fuck her. She is a bird brain. That's what I think.
Fuck her. She is a bird brain.
I just think we can't give people the space to not have conviction. Like if look at Bernie Sanders, he's always spoke on the same thing. I can't give Nikki Haley credit. I just can't.
Just can't do it.
She endorsed him.
Yeah, she did.
She voted for him.
She fucking bent the knee so hard. She didn't have any credibility before, but in my mind, she was kind of gaining steam from the Republicans. Like they were voting for her in mass numbers in the primary, bigger than what we thought they would. And she fucking tanked it because, like you said, she has no conviction to anything but power.
If she had any conviction coming out of the first Trump administration, she would have been sounding alarm bells, and she would have not relented on sounding those alarm bells, and she never would have endorsed him. So to me, she has no spine, no conviction whatsoever, and that is my biggest pet peeve. And that's what I think the American public, Donald Trump, for as crazy and nutty as he is, he's consistently crazy. He has conviction about his consistent craziness. I guess that's what people like. Not me, but whatevs. Pumps, between myself, my husband, and my children, I realized that we all had a lot of subscriptions, a lot of them multiple and repeats. And so now that it's the beginning of the year, I decided I'm going to crack down on this frivolous spending. So I signed up for Rocket Money. It's unbelievable. They have found subscriptions that I forgot about, and they've canceled them so that it saves me a lot of time so that I'm not hunting them down trying to cancel them.
I went on Rocket Money this weekend. I found out I had 3 subscriptions to Netflix, 2 to Hulu, 3 to Max. This app in one day saved me money that I didn't even know I was spending on stupid stuff.
Listener, Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Listener, cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/IHIP today. That's rocketmoney.com/IHIP. rocketmoney.com/IHIP.
Next, I wanted to bring the attention to Biden's farewell address that he made to the nation. And he pointed out that we are slipping into an oligarchy. Now, here's the deal. How many people watched it? How many people cared? That's a completely different set of facts. But I think he did at least take the opportunity to talk about what we are embarking on in the second Trump administration.
That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy, just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to.
So I think at least he took the opportunity to give the warning. How many people listened or care? I don't know.
Well, I think that number one, he's 100% correct. And number two, we have a lot of corporations that banned Trump from using their platforms 4 years ago, that put out tweets, Coca-Cola, that they supported democracy and were, completely appalled by Trump's actions. All of these people are going to be sitting on the stage at his next inauguration. And at the end of the day, there is a way that Democrats can message moving forward. Think about it like this. Everybody feels completely bent over when they fly on a commercial airliner. You get delays, the tickets are overpriced, et cetera, et cetera. The Trump administration moving forward wants to help airline shareholders.
Right.
Every person that walks into an airport falls prey to the very deregulated airport industry, and there are very little consumer protections. The Biden administration started trying to put in consumer protections where if your flight was delayed, you could get a full price refund, et cetera. What we're going to see moving forward is every single consumer protection is going to be removed. The MAGA clown car is going to call it, we're deregulating to help business. Deregulating is harming consumers, which means you're harming the American public, which means you're harming a lot of MAGA people. So the messaging moving forward is he just identified the enemy for the Democrats, and it is the oligarchy. Yep. It is the billionaires that just don't think they have enough, that think they're entitled to even more. And so hopefully everybody collectively can message. Bizarrely, you have Laura Loomer and Steve Bannon echoing the exact same message right now. I think theirs is more out of jealousy and kind of a pick-me syndrome. But nonetheless, some diehard MAGA people in the base are hearing that message, an anti-oligarchical message, and the Democrats need to be pounding it too. So I think Biden is a very good man. There's no way that any president of the United States at the end of a 4-year term that people aren't going to hear something he says and agree or disagree with a lot of components of it. He's a decent, good person, and he served his country for 50 years. I mean, there's an argument that maybe somebody shouldn't be able to be in politics that long. I'll just leave it that I am sad that the incoming president is going to send out all these crazy ass tweets. I don't think he's emotionally stable, can't blend his makeup. And that's the one thing I'm just going to focus on. That's going to be my main focus these next 4 years. Otherwise, I think I would go insane.
Yeah, there's so much going on right now with, Pam Bondi's confirmation hearing. She's clearly unqualified. She's clearly a sycophant. She doesn't give a shit about the law. She gives a shit about pleasing Trump. That's a problem. She's going to get confirmed. Nobody cares.
No, and what's so dangerous about that is what Trump wanted in his first term.
Right.
Is he wanted the attorney general to be his attorney, to be his fixer. And so Trump 2.0 is intuitive about that. And he has made sure that instead of taking an oath to the Constitution, you're taking an oath to him personally. So the military is going to be for him and for him personally. The attorney general is going to be his personal attorney. The FBI, the CIA, all of that's going to be so that he can investigate Bird Brain and Psycho Liz Cheney and all the people that hurt his feelings.
Right.
That's what those. And so, what scares me the most about this is the right-wing media echo chamber is incredibly powerful.
Yes.
It is successful at perpetuating conspiracy theories and lies and misinformation and disinformation, and it is a well-oiled machine. And people fall prey to conspiracy theories at a very alarming rate, while at the same time, the same administration wants to diminish education standards, dismantle the Department of Education, and encourage people not to go to college.
Yeah, I mean, Trump has always said he loves the poorly educated. And, we know why. One last thing I wanted to get your opinion on. What about Michelle Obama not going to the inauguration?
Good for her.
Good for her. That's what I say.
I have this level of conviction in my personal life. It is difficult for me to be duplicitous. It's difficult for me to say, like, I'm all chips in on supporting LGBTQIA plus people. I'm anti-racist and all of these things. And then know that somebody's a racist and know that somebody's homophobic and then just go cuddle up with them and act like everything's normal. That is a difficult thing for me to engage in that type of duplicity. And it always has been. You know that about me. I have very strong convictions about that. So I relate to it. I respect it. And I mean, she's not the current first lady.
Right.
And so Fox News having a meltdown over it. Melania Trump and Donald Trump didn't even go to the inauguration last year. So whatever. I totally get it. I don't blame her. I have that same style of, I'm not going to go there and smile and act like I think this is great. I think the guy's a nut. I think he's dangerous. I think he's a complete psycho.
Yeah, I applaud her for doing that because he has picked on the Obamas so much, even before he was president. And then he really takes personal shots at both President Obama and Michelle Obama. So good for her. Fuck him.
Yeah. And I also think Michelle Obama, more than it being personal to her, I don't think she cares so much about that as much as because she's a very accomplished, successful woman who has now earned her privilege. It's earned privilege. But I think she passionately, to the core of her bones, cares for marginalized people. And after watching her on the public stage for so long, I interpret that not as he said mean things about me, because I don't think she's petty. I interpret her not going more as I'm not going for all of the Black women that he demeans on a regular basis, because I think she is a lot more representative of marginalized people than she is like an egomaniac out for herself and it's a personal thing. I see it more of a broader thing after watching her, reading her books, etc.
Yeah, I applaud it. I think you're probably right. She's just had it with him, and I don't blame her.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
It's so